Throughout our lives, we are often told to follow our passions, and passion is very common in elite athletes, expert musicians, and professional artists. And this passion can either lead to excellence or burnout and frustration. The balance that we can find determines which end of the spectrum we will find ourselves on. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking about The Passion Paradox by Brad Stulberg and Steve Magness. The reason I like this book is because it talks specifically about athletes following their passions. Now this can be applied across so many different areas, more than just athletes, with artists and musicians and professionals across every industry. So I love this book because it talks about how you can, in a healthy way, follow your passion and build upon that passion in your life. So I want to divide this video into three main sections so that it's easier to digest, and hopefully if there's a section you're more interested in, then you can skip right to it. And those sections are going to be the dangers of passion, so some of the warnings that are given in the book, finding your passion, specifically what tools you can use to find things that you're passionate about, and finally, balance and self-awareness. And they talk about how balance is not something that you're actually looking for in your life. So let's jump right into it with the first section, the dangers of passion. Elon Musk famously said, "The reality of life is great highs, terrible lows, and unrelenting stress." I can understand from Elon Musk's perspective that this is likely the case every single day, but many of us that are achieving potentially smaller goals may run into a similar situation. The straight line to success is littered with potential wrong turns. Over a long period of time, our passions can become addictive and turn into the opposite of the joy that we are seeking when we first obtain them. Passion can quickly become obsessive, and your motivations can tend toward external factors. In sports, this can be represented by race results, times, rankings, speed, strength, and can truly obscure the love that we have for our sport. And no amount of success is enough. Over time, the more that we achieve, the more we need to satisfy the hunger of our passion. Now, this is not lending itself toward a happy relationship with those passions in our lives. And that's what Brad and Steve in The Passion Paradox specifically mention as a risk of going all in on your passion. As Alexander Hamilton famously rapped, "He will never be satisfied," many of us feel the same way toward our passions. We can never be content or satisfied with the goals and milestones we have achieved. We constantly are striving for more. And in doing so, we tend to throw off the balance that would allow us to healthily pursue the passions in our lives. So we know that finding our passion is important, but equally as important, if not more important, is finding a way to excel at that passion without falling into those dangers and pitfalls that exist along the way. And that brings us to section 2, which is actually finding those passions in our lives. So many people want to find their passion through things like gap years, European backpacking trips, and meditation camps, which are becoming more and more popular so people can discover themselves. The book states that 78% of people believe that happiness comes from finding a hobby or job that they are passionate about right from the beginning, their true passion. But in pursuing this type of passion, you are more likely to give up. You may sacrifice long-term potential for fleeting pleasures. For example, are you more passionate about exercise or eating donuts? In the moment, eating donuts may be more pleasurable than going for a run. One is much more likely to provide you with the fulfillment that you're looking for. In the early 1970s, psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan developed a concept called self-determination theory, and this is mentioned in the book as specifically related to satisfying our basic needs as a manner for determining our true passion. And these psychologists found that contrary to common thought, your drive to pursue activities is not reliant on external rewards like money, fame, or recognition, but the motivation comes from satisfying three basic needs, and those needs are competency, autonomy, and relatedness. Competency refers to our ability to make progress over time, so something that we're inherently good at, and as we continue to put work into it, we can improve. Autonomy refers to acting in harmony with your inner being, relating to your core values and beliefs, things that you truly believe in. And the third need is relatedness, a feeling of connection with others and enjoying the environment that your passion puts you into. So finding passion and finding success is a journey that we are all on, and we want to ensure that we're able to find that passion in a healthy way, and that takes time, and that takes conscious effort and conscious focus over that long period of time. It's not something that necessarily will fall into your lap at a young age, so that expectation and expecting that to come into our lives almost magically is something that will let us down and will lead us to disappointment in the passions that are supposed to help us go all in and really experience life. So let's jump into the final section, section 3, which is the balance and self-awareness we're looking for in our lives. Have you ever met an interesting person who is well balanced? It's not about balance, but self-awareness, and this self-awareness is key to a healthy passion in our lives. What's important doesn't necessarily get your attention. What gets your attention becomes important. We need to be intentional with our choices and block out time for focus specifically on what you decide is important. Waiting for the moment to decide what's important will allow your life to continue on autopilot, which is something that specifically is to be avoided if we're looking for true fulfillment in our lives. And in this book, they mention 4 specific practices that you can use to improve your own self-awareness. Number 1 is to step outside yourself. Pretend that a friend is in the same situation you're in and give them advice about what you would do in that situation. The second practice is regularly taking a greater perspective than the one that you're currently in. The example that they give in the book is that astronauts, when they go into space, are granted a greater perspective that many of us never get to experience in our lives. It's the ability to see Earth from thousands of miles away and understand just how big everything can be and how small many of our issues and problems can become. Other ways to practice this type of perspective is to view artistic works, listen to music that moves you, and immersing yourself in nature and experiencing what that has to offer. The third practice we can use to improve our self-awareness is meditation, regularly spending time clearing our thoughts and meditating on the things that are important to us. Regularly spending time clearing our thoughts and simply existing. The fourth practice that we can use is becoming a student of mortality. Now, this is not one that is for everyone, but it specifically talks about understanding more about death and dying and the inevitability of the end of our lives and understanding what the impact that we may leave is. And many times that can help guide our decisions toward things that are more inherently important in our entire lives. Finally, passion is something that can truly bring meaning to our lives and take us to new and greater heights. However, alongside this passion comes the risk of an equally great fall that we should avoid by using specific practices mentioned in this book. So as we learn in the book, balance is actually not what we're seeking for in our lives. People that are interesting, people that are passionate are inherently unbalanced, and that's something that's not necessarily a bad thing as long as we can focus on self-awareness and reflecting on those things using the strategies talked about in the book. So in conclusion, I would more than absolutely recommend The Passion Paradox, again by Brad Stulberg and Steve Magness. I would recommend it to anyone that is truly trying to find their passion in life and someone that may or may not feel a little bit burnt out from that passion and from the drive that they originally felt with something that they love doing. So if that's you, if you're in that boat, then I would definitely recommend this book to you. So if you want to pick up The Passion Paradox, you can do that on Amazon. You can get the hard copy, the soft cover, or you can listen to it on Audible, who is very kindly not sponsoring this video. So if you like this video or learned something from the content, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a quick thumbs up down below the video. It really does help out the channel and I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those in the comment section and I will respond to every single one of those. I really appreciate starting those conversations. So thanks so much for watching and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.